Hello once again, this is Mark Elmo Ellis with PhotoshopTrainingForum.com, where we show you clearly and concisely how to use Adobe Photoshop. Today we're going to learn how to manually adjust the tonal range of any photograph. We're going to start off with a pretty bad photograph, and I think I'm going to be using this picture because it's got so many things that we can adjust and fix on it. And it's in a little bit bad shape because this picture is circa 1975. And if you look at this handsome young devil right up here on the upper right hand corner, that's me. I was a jazz trombone player in the 33rd Army Band from Heidelberg, Germany. And this is a colorful cast of characters that we had in the band at the time. By the way, these are not officers. These are guys wearing officers' hats after hours. So anyway, we're going to fix this picture, and we're going to adjust. The first thing we're going to do to it, and you can see there's a lot of mars and imperfections and things I would like to get rid of out of this photo. So what a great photo to use. And we're going to manually adjust the tonal range, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Now, as in most of my video tutorials, what I'm going to do in this one is I am going to create an extra layer, a duplicate layer of layer 1 here, which is my photograph. If I turn this layer off, and I'm trying to make sure you understand how layers work, if I turn this off, you just got the white background here, okay? And we've selected layer 1, we've turned it blue by clicking on it, and now we've got to put our little eye icon back on, and there you go, you're back to the picture we originally had. Now we're going to add another layer, a duplicate layer. I want exactly the same picture in another layer. So we'll just call layer 1 copy like they tell us to, and there we have it. So we've got two pictures of us, two different layers. Okay, and the reason I'm doing this is to show you clearly how the picture and image is going to change after we've made our adjustment. So I'll be able to go from one layer to the next and show you how we have made adjustments and changes and how the difference is. So we're going to use this as a contrast. Okay, enough of that. Now let's get started. Now there's something I've got to caution you about before we get started. Whenever you are dealing with adjustment layers, you need to make sure that the layer you're working with is the top level layer at this time. Later on we'll get into more complex methods of using layers and adjustments, and we will be able to do some different things. But right now, make sure that the top layer is selected. Click on layer 1, copy the very top layer that we have, okay? Now we're going to open up two new windows today. We're going to open up the histogram, which looks like this, and you might want to use expanded view if you aren't already. That's what you want to have. Check marked here, expanded, so click on that, and it will open up to the expanded view, which is this one. The next thing we want to do is open up an adjustment layer, and you do that by going to the bottom of this panel, and this little black and white button here, you want to click on that and then go down the menu to where you have levels. That's what we're going to work with today. Now you'll notice something interesting. These two pictures look identical, and they should. If they don't look identical, something's wrong. You either did something wrong or clicked on something wrong or whatever. So you got two identical pictures, and these represent your values. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust our arrows here. And each arrow means something different. The black arrow represents the darkest areas of your picture. The white areas represents the lightest. And the gray area represents in between all of that. Oh, by the way, make sure that you have chosen RGB out of this panel here if it's not already chosen. RGB. Make sure you have that. So the first thing we want to do is you'll notice over to the left of your histogram there's a kind of a blank area. And over to your right, you've got this flat line, kind of a blank area, okay? Now we want to adjust this down here, because when we move these sliders, it will affect this. You'll see what I mean. And what we want to do is we want to move these edges over as close as we can to here, and this edge over as close as we can to here. That way you'll have your ability to eliminate any of the overtones or undertones that are on this photograph. Just to show you what I'm talking about, we're going to first slide the black arrow over on the levels. You're on the levels, and you're going to slide that to your right until it's right under where it starts. Just like that. You'll notice your picture got a little bit darker, right? So forth. And then this changed. Notice it's got these little lines in it, which don't mean anything, but this moves it over You notice that's moved over. There's no gap there. We're going to do the same thing to the white arrow now. So now we've got our values of our whole picture set. Those are the values we're mostly concerned with. Okay, and once again our picture changed. Now it really doesn't look that much different. But what this will allow you to do is to now go to the middle values and adjust it where you want to. Now I've always felt this picture was a little on the bright side because they took it with a flash in a room at night and for whatever reason. So we can just slide this over to the right and it will darken it a little bit. And you'll notice when you're sliding it, the picture will change as well as the histogram, okay? Now I'm sure there's guys that get very scientific about this, but it's all a matter of personal preference. I want mine a little bit darker. It just seems like the contrasts come out a little better. And I can adjust it later on, and we're going to be getting into how to do other adjustments as time goes on here. And as you saw in the previous lesson, we can adjust the highlights and the darker colors independently. And if you don't know about that, just go to video number 12 and you can learn all about that. So that's how you adjust things in the histogram. Once you're finished, just click OK. And you can close out the histogram. And that's how you make an adjustment with histogram and also with your levels. And that's adjusting the whole entire tonal range so that you've eliminated those gaps on either end. It makes it much easier to adjust the tonal range of your photograph. And that's basically all there is to adjusting the levels of your picture. Now as we go on, as I said before, we're going to use this photograph. There's a lot of mars and imperfections. I don't like the way the colors look on this. They're a little yellowish, grayish color. I don't know what color that is. It just kind of looks pukey to me. So we're going to fix that. And we'll be using this over the next 5 to 7 lessons of the tutorial. Anyway, this has been Mark Elmo Ellis with PhotoshopTrainingForum.com, where we show you how to clearly and concisely use Adobe Photoshop. God bless and have a great day.